when you go back to Acts chapter 8, first and foremost, like I said, we're meant to be followers of Paul, even as Paul was a follower of Yahweh Shai. That's the doctrine. Paul was blessed by the Most High to have a great ministry, man, a great task. So we know this guy ain't no okie doke guy, obviously.
No, not at all.
He was part of the elect. And if anybody's part, we should listen to anybody, we should definitely listen to a guy who's of the elect. Paul knew he was of the elect.
Yeah.
That's why I said, Paul said, the time of my departure is at hand.
Yeah, I think that's,
the Lord is going to give me a crown. Bring us 2 Timothy.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 6.
Oh, okay, you got it. Okay, you can get it. Okay, I'll read it then. All right. It says, it says, this what the brother just said, right? The chapter, it says, I have fought a good fight, and I've finished my course.
No. Read up a verse.
Okay, 6. Yeah, this is 2 Timothy 4 and 6. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand.
Because he knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to die. Paul knew that. Imagine that. You knew you were going to die. Anyone, go on.
I have fought a good fight, have finished my course, I have kept the faith.
Exactly, right. That's the fight that we're trying to fight. They're all brothers that are sincerely and diligently in continual diligence. That's what we're trying to do. Lord willing, that spirit stay upon us, if that spirit is even on us to begin with.
Come on.
Where?
Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous, shall give me.
No, the righteous judge.
Right, Salakia, the Lord. Yeah, let me read that again. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day.
Exactly. So Paul knew in reincarnation. Did Paul receive a crown then?
No.
Of course he didn't, because he knew that the day didn't even come. The day hasn't even come now, man.
It was far.
It hasn't even come now. It's still to come.
Yeah.
So Paul knew he'd be here again. And that's another topic that them guys, the OCC, they don't receive, man.
They just
reincarnation. That's another thing they don't receive, man.
But if I could just say something, right? And the light-skinned brother, the light-skinned guy, he's saying that to this brother, he's unskilled basically with the scriptures. But he can't even understand this. He wouldn't even understand this if he was to read it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a special message to you, my man. You know it's real. I was speaking to you yesterday, and you couldn't knock it. You know, deep down in your soul, you could only fight so hard against it until you had run out of fuel, man. That's why you had to resort to semantics, man. You had to either speak over me, intercept my speech, or make mockery of me, man. And I saw all three of your little semantics there, man. Obviously, I'm just getting roused up right now. I mean, at the end, I shook his hand and everything. At the end of the day, you get into debates, man, and your spirit gets roused up. You know, and you wind up speaking rough, or you wind up heightening your tone of voice. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. It happens. But at the end of the day, you did resort to using semantics, man. I don't know you by name. I don't remember your name, or if you even told me your name. But that's what you was doing, and you know that's what you was doing. Every time, especially when we went into the whole topic of Esau being exterminated according to the vision that Mosiah Yahweh gave to Obadiah, you knew damn well you can get past that, man. And you tried to subvert it to another topic, man.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know he couldn't get it, man. That's how you know.
That's how I know when a man's insecure. You're a light-skinned version of General Yohana, man. You are a light-skinned version of General Yohana. When you're a General Yohana, he's always speaking loud. If he can't answer something, he's either trying to undermine the person who's cornering him by laughing at him, or or saying something about him, ridiculing him, or something. If you can't handle it, then you got to resort to semantics. to win, to like Esau's tactics, Esau's social tactics to win the argument. And it ain't about fucking winning, man.
Yeah,
it's about truth, man.
Yeah.
Getting to the truth, getting to the bottom of it, man, and fighting for the truth. Ain't about, oh, I might lose, guys. So what, man? Fight. It's about you, man. It's about you trying to save yourself, man. Seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Yeah.
Them guys who you with, they're grown ass men.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna save them.
And they
you ain't their passport out here.
Yeah.
Them little brothers that you're with, they gotta fight for themselves, man. Yeah. They gotta fend for themselves, man. And if they ain't right, they gonna die right alongside the rest of the 2/3, man.
Yeah, it's true.
You looking at, oh, I got people out. Fuck what people think, man. Why do you think I'm on my own?
Yeah.
Because I don't give a shit about what people think.
The Lord didn't give a shit about what people thought.
Exactly, man. You know?
And if I may say something as well, and that's just the thing with these different Hebrew Israelite groups, they're all about getting the crowd. Like the 14th Street Soft Muffin. Him. He's talking about, oh yeah, you see these guys, man, these GMS brothers all over the country, all over the globe and all that. You know, these guys be talking, you know, with his bitch-made voice, you see, right? So basically, he's talking about, oh, you know, when I watch these guys' videos, I don't see them bringing a crowd. There ain't nobody there. But wait a minute. It tells you in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, to prophesy to the wind.
Get that. If you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Jake loves, man. Jake loves the attention. Jake loves, he wants to maintain that small measure of peace in his time of captivity. This, Micah told you, this is not your rest, man.
Mm.
So you're not meant to be trying to seek rest. Really and truth, obviously you need your little time out. The scripture says, be not righteous over much. So sometimes you might need to go, brother, go to a restaurant, you know, just have a little time out. It said, be not righteous over much. Why should you destroy yourself? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, man, you can't be looking for a small measure of heaven in your time of hell. This is your hell. And that's another thing that them guys can get. They believed hell was underneath the ground. They believed in Hades, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking at these guys and I was thinking, man, oh, for fuck's sake, man. We could spend here all night going at this. And now, you know, I pray I do bump into you guys. I pray you guys come down again, man. And we this time without, because at the end of the day, the whole conversation, the whole debate got confused, man. We're jumping around because of that, the light skin, the elder, him. I told him, I read the scripture to him. This is what I read to him. I read him this. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order. And I read that scripture whilst in the midst of all his disciples that are with him. And they are his disciples. You follow him, you take orders from him, you're his disciples. And I read that scripture. And my intention was that we clear up the whole Esau thing first. First, before we all want the baptism thing. And I've done, if you can't see that, man,
then, you know, you might not be a part of the elect, man, you know. You ain't really got the spirit to even see it. Because these guys, man, I mean, they're especially the main guy, the main leader, with the Gocc is saying, right? He's basically, you know, he's just trying to hold his ground because he's got the minions behind him, you know. So he don't want to look kind of, you know, he don't want to look silly in amongst his people. But it's not about that. It's about getting.
It ain't about how you look. You're gonna have to look like a fool, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the chastisement. He don't want to take that foot into the war. He doesn't want to. He's afraid of the war, man. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to put your whole leg and then your other leg and then go down to the waist, go down to the chest, your neck, all the way in, man. Yeah. You're gonna have to go all the way in, man. You're gonna have to take the whole chastisement. Mm-hmm. Never mind what people think. You can't care about what people think. And that's our message to you, the light-skinned elder of the GOCC camp that I was speaking to yesterday. I could see you had a lot of pride in you, man.
Yeah.
I could see you had a whole. I mean, that pride was kicking you square in the arse, man. You couldn't. No way, you couldn't give in.
It was driven right to left, man.
And I could see the way, and I was. I mean, I don't want to laugh because at the end of the day, this is serious. But what was I gonna get? I was gonna get the scripture real quick.
I was supposed to read Ezekiel 37:9.
Oh, go ahead, go read that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 37:9. Then said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live, which is obviously talking about the nation of Israel, you know. But the point being is, it's prophesying to the wind, you know. That's just the deal. It don't matter if people's not listening to you or whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, as we as GMS, we always teach this. We're only concerned about the elect. We're not concerned about the whole crowd of people. And that's what these numbnuts need to get. They need to understand that we as GMS, right, the true prophets of the Lord, Lord willing that we those prophets, right, that we are concerned about the elect. We're not concerned about gathering a gazillion Israelites, because they're not going to get it.
Exactly, and that would be going against the scriptures anyway, and that's a sure sign that we might not be part of the elect. We might not be those real prophets if we're gathering loads and loads of people.
Right.
Because that's not according to the true description of how the prophets were, of how it should be. The scripture says, "Woe unto you when people speak well of you."
Beautiful.
So did they to the false prophets, man.
Beautiful.
And back when I saw yesterday, I saw all kinds of people approaching Gocc because they were attracted to the whole garments. So in my head, I'm thinking of what John said. John said, "Woe unto you when people speak well of you, man." So did they to the false prophets. I'm not trying to say that you guys, there might not be certain members of your camp that might not be part of that are not part of the elect, because they might very, very, very well be. Because I did see a kind of guys that were, I think the two twins, they seemed quite sincere. And then there was another guy who bought me the KFC. He seemed quite sincere. You might have guys in GOCC that might be of the elect.
But it's going to have to come a time and a place where, you know, if them brothers is sincere, man, they're going to have to come out of that thing.
You're going to have to come out of that shit, man. This is much more serious than being on a damn platform. Yeah. You're going to have to take your foot off the platform and realize this is reality, man.
That's right, man.
This ain't no drama school. You ain't out here to be put on a little show for being an Israelite, man. I don't know what's inside the minds of you. I didn't have enough conversation with you to get the time to get to know you. But you need to first. I can see you're not right because you're following first and foremost this guy.
Got a scripture.
This guy right here, the light skinned one, and you could blatantly see that I was putting him in his place. It's just that he didn't want to admit that. In the end, because I was on my own, stammering lips, it seemed like I was a little bit disorganized. Because at the end of the day, I'm a bit slow to perceive. You know, sometimes you need to repeat things every so often to me. Especially if I'm out there standing in one location, one position for hours on end. 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock or 9:30. Those are our usual times. And I'm standing out there for all that time. So when you have a whole crowd of GOCC standing there, and you know, and I'm debating with the elder, and everyone's sort of coming at me with different points, it's sort of hard for me to take it all in and to counter with it. And to think of scriptures at the same time and counter that. You know what I'm trying to say? So at the end, it sort of did look like I was a bit lost or confused. But at the end of the day, you knew, those of you that was listening to the conversation properly and intensely was focusing, you could see that your elder couldn't knock what I was saying.
Yeah.
You couldn't knock it. You could try and make mockery of it, speak over me, try to concrete his side of the argument, try to override what I'm saying or intercept my speech, but you couldn't deconstruct the premise of my argument. You couldn't do it. So the content of my argument remains steadfast. Reincarnation, first and foremost, is a real phenomenon. It's real. And that's something that the Spirit is going to have to reveal to you, man. You're going to have to ask in the name of Yahweh,
the proper name.
The proper name to open up your mind. And to open up your eyes so you have eyes to see it, man.
Because, I mean, if you pray to Yeshaya or higher,
there's no such thing as that.
He ain't going to hear you, man. Sorry.
There's no such thing as that. And that's disrespectful, first and foremost, to the Most High and to the Lord.
Yeah. Con.
That's a disrespect. So why would the Lord answer to that? Because the brother is saying how we would preach unto the wind. This is Matthew chapter 11, verse 16. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, which we out there every week in the markets and the openings of the gates, calling unto our fellows, which are our brothers, Israelites, the 12 tribes, Latinos and so-called Negroes. Alright, we're in the markets, Brixton, heavily populated with Jake, where we're there, calling unto our brethren. And saying, verse 17, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced.
Con.
We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. So Israel's not responding, man. We're talking to you as long as like we're talking to thin air.
Yeah.
No one's responding. So that's what's gonna happen, man. If the Most High is really working with you, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna feel at times that you're just out there and nothing's happening. No one's listening to you. But that in itself is a test. And the Most High is gonna set out for you. You're gonna be out there week after week after week and nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So in the eyes of a natural man, your mentality is, oh, nothing's happening. So what's the point of me even coming out and not even listening to me?
Right.
And then the Lord's gonna look at you like a sucker and think,
I knew this guy. You know,
you motherfucker, man. You was gonna get weak and punk out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You ain't of my elect.
Con.
That's what the Most High gonna think. Because the Most High, his thoughts are not yours, man. So you gonna think, oh, man, ain't no one listen to me, man. Like a little nigga, man. Ain't no one listen to me. Oh, fuck this, man. Let me take my gun.
Yeah, con. And plus, you know, too.
From week.
Yeah.
You know?
And plus, and another thing as well, right? Basically, it makes sense because if you could just come into this thing, right, and you on your own, obviously the Lord's going to take it easy on you. Obviously, you know, the whole crowd's not going to come up against you because you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Seasoned.
The Most High's not going to give you something that you can't handle.
Yeah.
He's going to give you something that you can handle, but he's going to leave a little side so you can escape.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put the heat on you, but at the same time, he's going to give you that little door so you can escape.
Mm-hmm.
And you there, your whole thing is, oh, no one listening, man. You know, what's the point of me even, you know, I'm building up all this sweat, I'm out here for hours and then no one even listening.
Mm.
And then the Most High is looking at you with a smile on his face, man.
Yeah, I need this guy.
Well, see, the Most High is something else, man. See, the Most High is a trickster, man. You play games, you know. Most High is looking at the nigga. And the nigga's just like, oh man, oh my god, man.
This guy, man. This guy was a serious man.
I knew this guy. And the angels are like, see, Most High, see, this nigga ain't nothing, man. This nigga ain't about it. This now speaking about it, because you Latinos too, man. You know what I'm saying? you Latino men, man. You better get it right, man. But anyway, the point is, we're going to be out there and a lot of people, they're not going to listen. So don't be put off by that. Like, that's a stumbling stone.
There's many stumbling stones.
There's a stumbling stone, man. A lot of obstacles that a lot of you Jays, especially the brother that said he wanted me to get Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. You said you've been in it for 2 years. And you said something about you follow GOCC because you felt like they resonated with your spirit. Yeah, that's one thing you got to know, man. You get into this truth, it's not going to be all platformed out. People going to love you and shit. You know, you got fans and hoes and shit. It ain't going to be like that, man.
And it's not about everybody waking up to this thing, every Israelite.
And it ain't about you either, your emotions. Yeah. How you feel towards certain guys who come across not right ways. It don't matter, man. We're in the flesh, man, first and foremost. There's certain guys are going to make mistakes from time to time. We're in the flesh. You know?
But we try to be perfect, you know?
So when you see guys like Gocc, don't be offended by them type of guys. That's just me.
Well, you should say Gocc GMS.
Gocc GMS, yeah, because you might think I'm talking about your elder of GOCC. Yeah. I'm talking about Gocc Reubenite of our elders.
I'll hook it up though. It's all good. But
anyway, going back to the topic of Israel.
Just read one scripture real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Matthew 13, 9 and 10. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. You know, so basically, man, like we've been saying, like we've been telling you, you know, this thing is not for any old Israelite or for all Israel, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because basically the apostles said to the Lord, why are you speaking unto parables for? Aren't we supposed to gather all Israel? No, he said, no, this is for you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
Exactly, yeah. When the Lord, sorry, I don't mean to cut, but when the Lord had his disciples, it wasn't just 12 at first, you know. It was a whole load of them, man. There was dozens of disciples he had, and he got slimmed down to 12.
Yeah, come on.
We got slimmed down to 12, man. There's 12 guys.
What?
You know what I'm trying to say? So you need to these are things you need to meditate upon, man. When you get into this truth, man, you have to. That's how you know you're real, man. When you're on your own. When you're with people, man, it's like you got a shoulder to lean on. You're not real, man. You're not real.
Yeah, that's true.
The niggas would be like that in the world. You act bad because you're with people. But when you're on your own, you ain't saying nothing, man.
You walking all scared and that.
You ain't saying shit. You know, call it slipping because you're on your own. Well, really, when you're on your own, that's when I think what Paul said. He said, "My strength is made perfect in weakness," or something like that. Well, when you're in your weakness, that's when my strength is made perfect. When you're weakest, when you're weak, when you're in this weak state. Where's that scripture, man? It said, I think. Oh shit! Oh damn!
It's in Corinthians, isn't it?
I believe it is.
No, it's not that. But in fact, I'll look it up on the sitting there.
Yeah, that's what it said. First, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9.
Okay.
I mean, he said verse 8. Because Paul had certain in the flesh, he had like a pestilence, and he asked the Lord to rebuke it 3 times. And the Lord said, no, my grace is sufficient for you. I mean, you got to bear with it, man. And if you can bear with that infirmity you got there, then you're made perfect, man. That's when you're your strongest, man. When you're weak. You know? And he said unto me, my grace is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. In fact, let me start up again. Verse 7. In fact, let me just get to the point because the time, is short, Yeah,
it's alright,
man. Verse 9, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. My strength is made perfect in weakness.
Read that again.
Verse 9, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Come on. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So the Lord, when you're at your weakest state, man, that's when, you know what I'm saying? That's when you perfect this thing, man. When you're at your weakest. You know? Because imagine how, if you're strong whilst you're weak, if you're strong in the faith whilst you're weak, because Paul went all out even though he still had that infirmity in the flesh. He went all out. So imagine how strong he'd be if the Most High took that infirmity off of him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My strength is made perfect in your weakness. If you can perfect this thing in your weakness, then how much more stronger you'd be if I took that thing off of you.
Yeah, you're a very powerful man indeed. Yeah. Come on.
Like you niggas in the world, man. Like I'm talking about you guys. You depend on brothers because you in the camp. You like brother. You like that sense of security. You see people there. You know. That's why guys join GOCC because you see brothers there and stuff like that. You want to be a part of that security, man. You want to lean on somebody's shoulder, like a little bitch. So that's what I'm saying, but it's real, man.
Like Mike the Hammer.
You know, you want to suck on someone's titty, man. Like a little mama's boy. You still want that like a baby, man. You want to suck on someone's titty. Or fair or not, all fair. You know what I'm trying to say? Well, when I came to the truth, I didn't join no camp. First and foremost, I didn't know really where the camp was. So I went out there on my own with my little notepad, man.
Yeah,
And that's how I came out here.
Yeah. That's right, man.
And the Spirit made it where I'm doing it now.
Good.
4 years later on, down the line.
Yeah,
So you guys that are with people, man, you want to act that way when you're with people, but let's see how strong you are when you're on your own. Let's see how long you last when you're on your own. You ain't gonna last long, cause you don't have a shoulder to lean on. It's gonna get too cold. You're gonna stay out there for like 2-3 hours, and that's gonna be about it, man. Me, when I went out there, I made sure that I stayed out there. When I first started, I'm telling you this for a fact. I stayed out there from 2 or 1:30 until about 7 o'clock when I first started. I ain't gonna lie. And I made sure I left it until 7 o'clock. I got myself at that time. And every week I make sure that was my time, being out there in the highways. Until day I make sure that it's either 2:30 to 3 till 9 o'clock. We've had days where we've been out there in the Spirit until like 1:30, 2 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's happened. Good.
We're not boasting or bragging. We're just edifying. We're just talking, man.
And we're being truthful as well.
We're just being truthful, man. Okay. Because this is really nothing, especially in comparison to our elders, man. But point being, you guys that are there, you need to understand is that if you really count yourself being a disciple, if you really take things seriously, you'd be out there on your own.
Yeah. That's true.
That's how you know you're really about this thing. When you're on your own.
And you're dealing with all the elements.
Because what the Lord says is to seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yeah. You think you're gonna latch on to your elder and think he ain't gonna save you, man. This is about you, man. You come in this thing and think this, it's like a gang thing. No, you just there to have that comfort and feeding of the brothers. You better check yourself, man. Especially a lot of guys in the camp, man. And when I was speaking to your people yesterday, you had certain guys in your camp that were laughing, man. They were laughing at me.
Yeah, like what's that about? What's that about, man? What's that about, man?
And I think you were laughing and shit. And I was looking at the guy and I was thinking inside my head. I didn't look at the guy, but obviously I could see next to, because what happened was, all right, let's go back. It was the elder, the light-skinned elder, and the younger guy. It was cool. They were both cool, but we were debating. I was debating with the elder about the whole baptism thing. And in this video here, we showed you that we're meant to be followers of Paul, like Paul was a follower of Yahushua. So if Paul said I'm not meant to baptize, you're not going according to what Paul said, man. You're not being followers of Paul, man. As Paul was of Yahushua. So who are you following then, man? I'm speaking to you elders, you elder of GOCC. Who are you following, man? You following Philip? You want to follow Philip, man? That's alright. Do that. Yeah. But Paul said it, man. Paul was of the elect. That's the ministry, man. Paul is what? An elder. Paul was one of the elders during that time, 2,000 years ago. And he said, if anybody don't follow the doctrine according to what we have taught, mark that guy. The doctrine that Paul taught was that we're not meant to be of baptism, physical baptism. We're meant to preach the gospel.
That's right, man. And another thing with you guys as well, man, what you guys tend to do is you tend to bring everybody. You tend to say, well, you're going to have a remnant of Edomites that's going to get saved. When that's not really the case, because the brother just mentioned the word gospel. The word gospel means good news to who? The Israelites. The elect of the nation of Israel. So basically, when you read about certain scriptures like Isaiah, it speaks about how the nations are going to go into slavery. Which you brothers agree with that. You brothers agree with that. But what you brothers need to agree on is this, is that Esau is going to be and all Esau's gonna be in slavery, and all of them's gonna be exterminated, man.
And then they seem to get a bit flip floppy on that, man. Especially the elder. You came flip floppy, man.
You can't do that, man.
You came flip floppy on that, man.
Cause you gotta be.
You did. I was watching you, man. I was watching you.